Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I am going to explore your subconscious mind so that you can discover what it means to dream of a beautiful man. That is to say, with the ideal of masculine beauty, which otherwise produces an immediate attraction to you. And that comes to symbolize the fact of letting your personal tastes and aspirations be the ones that for once in your life take control of your existence. Therefore, when you see a beautiful man, you're attracted to him because he has what you like in a man, from a physical point of view, and therefore what you define as desirable. But before going into the analysis, in case you don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Robert. I am a psychoanalyst with more than 30 years of experience, and in case you want to have a psychoanalysis session with me, or in case you want the psychoanalysis of one of your dreams, you send me an email to the one that I am going to leave you here below in the description of this video, so I can tell you how you can join my consultation. Now, back to what it means to dream about a beautiful man. This is a very important dream because from the outset, it is revealing that you are going through a phase of your life where you feel that you are not receiving what you want, and therefore you are forced to settle for what you have at hand. With which, this dream is showing that all your states of frustration, which lead to anguish, anxiety, or depression, arise from the fear that you feel of always having to live from low expectations. Deep down, this dream reveals that you want to satisfy your personal tastes, because that's what you don't have in your life. Therefore, the question that I immediately ask you is, why have you lived for so many years with such low expectations? Because that is the conflict that is taking place in your psyche at this moment. That is what this dream is expressing as a symptom, that you have tired of living in a mediocre way. But the problem is that this generates a lot of guilt because you are surely the type of person who was brought up to accept everyone on all situations. And there is the world from which all your frustrations arise. In practice, you no longer want to continue putting up with situations or people that do not meet your expectations. But it is something that for you is too difficult to accept, because that in your eyes makes you a bad person. That is why in the dream you are going to see that beautiful, very attractive man approaching you and paying a lot of attention to you. And above all, by making you feel very valuable. Precisely because through this figure, you are obtaining what you like in life, but externally. From a material point of view, we could say. And I am sure you are wondering, but I am not usually such a superficial person, as you only focus on the external aspect. It is that in a certain way, yes, you want to give yourself the space to just enjoy feeling pleasure through your senses and especially your personal taste. Because that is exactly what you do not have in your life. As I indicated, this dream is revealing that for many years you lived to accept the taste of others. You could say the general taste, what the society you lived in imposed on you. You are certainly the type of girl that could not reject people who disliked her, or even, I am pretty sure, your boyfriends chose you, although you did not realize that, and that caused you to repress your personal desires over the years. Desires that are even extrapolated to the erotic plane. And that is why the dream is expressing that to you, your unconscious is revealing that you want to exercise your personal taste and especially your decision-making capacity without having any guilt for it. So if you see a beautiful man in your dream, it is because you would like to take man simply as an object to satisfy your own desires. Because it is a state of imbalance of your mind, because over the years it has not found that personal space so that you can satisfy your own tastes. In other words, it is very likely that in your own reality, you have not had the opportunity to establish relationships with someone you really like, who attracted you from a physical point of view. Not only because the person was beautiful, but because he generated in you the physical sensations that come with erotic desire. It is likely that in the distance you saw people that you liked, but you had to repress that because that made you feel very guilty. Now, I tell you that you have applied this to all aspects of your life. When you have liked something only from the sensory point of view, you usually reject it. You need to hide your desires. And there it arises my next question. Why were you doing this? Why couldn't you express your tastes? That is why you see a beautiful man in your dream. For example, if you had been with someone you really liked, even if he was not the most beautiful man in the universe, you would not need the expression of this figure in your dreams. But you never had that. If you liked a piece of clothing, the same was going to happen. You were going to have to hide your tastes. Well, and that in the present is what is triggering all your states of anguish, the fact that you have reached a moment in your life where you no longer want to continue hiding your desires. But that, as I told you, has come into conflict with your state of the conscious self, which for many years helped you hide what you wanted, as a means of protecting yourself, as a way that you could adapt to the environment in which you lived in your first years of life. The issue is that this repressive structure stayed there in your mind and prevented the part of your psyche which handles desires with balance from not fully developing. And this was what generated the complex of your unconscious that at this moment is expressing itself in your daily life through those symptoms that I had already told you about. That is anguish, anxiety, depression, frustration, or even anger. And that is the energy of your psyche that we need to release, redirect, and interconnect to your state of conscious self through a psychoanalytic process so that you can live your unsatisfied desires in balance. Now, when did all this begin? Well, as I indicated in your first years of life, when your psyche was developing. There were parts of it that matured without any problem, but others had to be repressed by the environment in which you coexisted. This dream suggests that you grew up in an environment where your wishes were from the palm, because what mattered most were the wishes of your parents, which extended to the wishes of your siblings, your grandparents, your uncles, or your cousins. You grew up in an environment where you were somehow made to feel that everyone else was more important than you. And it is not that your parents did it out of evil, or maybe yes. It is up to you to define it. What I believe is that your parents also had their own environments in which they had to develop. And that's why they attached great importance to others, which is expressed in that, for example, if you wanted something, one of your parents was going to tell you, but you should think about the tastes of others. And that obviously caused you a lot of frustration, which you had to suppress for many years, so as not to conflict with them. And this caused that part of your psyche not to mature as it should, with the consequent problem that you carried that mental structure to all your interpersonal relationships. You were always going to put the wishes of others before your own. But the point is that now that you are an adult, that structure of your mind no longer serves you. You still have it, but you want to operate in a different way. And that causes you a lot of guilt, with the consequent frustration, anguish, anxiety, and depression. All this, as I say, is operating in your unconscious. But if you are somatizing all these states and you're having this dream, it is because you want to express your personal tastes for the first time in your life, but you cannot do it because the pressure that was on you for many years was too great. Ultimately, that is what we need to solve. As you can see, this is a much more complex dream than it may seem. So you have to pay close attention in case you see a beautiful man in a dream. For the same reason, you already know that if you want me to psychoanalyze some of your dreams or have therapy sessions with me, just send me an email to the one that I leave you below so that I can tell you the way in which you can integrate to my consultation. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if it helped you in any way, and share it so that others can access to this kind of knowledge. Have a wonderful day, and with it, the most beautiful dreams. Bye!